Alright, what's up guys? It's Maru. I'm back. I haven't really been posting in the past couple months because I kind of stepped away from Clash for a while. But I'm back at it again. And today we have a league war. Well, it's kind of a league war, but the community base building server hosted an event. And me and my friends decided to play in it, and we're playing for Troll Tesla at 10. And we had a war this morning, and we managed to pull out the victory against Actually Weak. They're a great team, great guys, really fun to play against. But yeah, so I built number 1 and number 3. So first I'm going to go over number 1 and what I kind of did to expect their hit. They actually did a hit I didn't expect too much, so I'll go over that and how it defended and why it defended. Before I do that, the set army, because there was set armies, was a Chinese smash, consisting of like 5 healers, 4 P.E.K.K.A.s, 4 Super Wiz, 3 Loons, I think 2 Rage and 2 Jump, and then a Freeze and a Poison. So it gave you some flex spells and some flex troops, but not many. I know this next week, it's Super Witches and Zap Witches, but we get a lot more flex room, which is nice. Anyway, enough talk about that. Let's get into the base. So, as you can see, this base is a dead core base, meaning this is the core right here. It's a 10 by 10 core. Actually, no, sorry, it's a 9 by 9 core. And it is a dead core as there's no key defense, like there's no Inferno or Eagle or Town Hall or anything in there. And the reasoning behind this is because if you look at the jump value, you have to waste a jump to go in from here, to go in from here, to go in from here, just to get access to the core. So then you have to jump again to get a key defense. And it's kind of the beauty of dead cores is they work really well against Smash because of the fact that they are like a useless core. They just act as dead space and they act as like nothing basically. And that forces the attacker to use more spells even if they don't want to. Now you could quad quake this open, but quad quaking was not allowed because you didn't have enough spells for it. So yeah. Plus then you would have like, I think you might have been able to use it, but you'd have like no other flex spells. So you weren't able to bring like a heal if you wanted to, you weren't able to zap anything. It would just put you up in a bad situation. So that was kind of off the table. So first of all, let's talk about what Chinese Smash is and how it's good. First of all, it's a Town Hall 13 strat. I wouldn't recommend it at Town Hall 12. It's very hard to triple with against a good base. And basically what it is it's P.E.K.K.A. Smash, but instead of using bowlers, you use Super Wizards. And they basically serve as the same purpose, but I think they're a little bit better. And the reason why it's so good at 13 is because the Royal Champion, she just comes and swoops in the back and takes out a key defense or 2. But at 12, you don't have a Royal Champion, so it makes it a lot weaker. So, now let's talk about the base. First of all, something you might notice is all my expos are set on ground. This is because you were only allowed to use Chinese Smash, which is a ground army, and you could use a wall wrecker or a stone slammer or a blimp, but I'm not going to invest some air bows for a blimp or a stone slammer, like a possible one, when I can get more value out of them all with like against the Chinese Smash and more range to beat on the P.E.K.K.A.s. So another thing is I have the NATO here, because this was like, okay, so what I was expecting is I was expecting them to either warden log this compartment or zap it, and then start their queen around here, and then have the queen walk down and with a king over here, and then them go to the town hall and then like jump around here. But what the NATO does is it spins around the P.E.K.K.A.s and delays them, so then the super wizards basically catch up with the P.E.K.K.A.s, and if they don't warden through the town hall, all their super wizards are dead, and that's the only thing pushing through. Okay, so that was the first kind of like nuke, if you want to call it. The second thing you might notice is I have a bunch of SAMs sprinkled around like the core or where I thought they were going to come in. What I did with that is because a lot of people warden through the town hall, but their healers are unprotected around here, around this core. And you want to take out the healers so then the P.E.K.K.A.s don't have consistent healing, so then they can get slowly beat on by point defenses and then eventually get taken out, instead of trying to force a time fail. And then another thing you'll probably notice is all these giant bombs and small bombs. These are all for super wizards, because super wizards, the only way to take them out is either using multis or using giant bombs, like the best way, I should say. Because you can take them out with like point defenses, but the best way to take them out is with giant bombs. And even if the P.E.K.K.A.s trigger these, the super wizards will follow up right behind and get hit by them. These spring traps were pretty useless. It was just in case if they Yeti bombed around the eagle, then the Yetis would get sprung. And then finally, I want to talk about these Teslas. This actually worked really well because this Tesla saved the day. So the attacker was planning to warden walk this Inferno and then start his Super Witches, or not Super Witches, Chinese Smash down here, I believe. But because this Tesla got pulled by a barb, he thought there was a whole Tesla farm there. Obviously there isn't, but he didn't know that. So he had to place his warden over here and send his smash through here, which made him waste a couple more jumps and spells and more time, which helped us. I think he time failed. I'm not 100% sure, but he failed regardless. Um, and and then finally, the last thing that helped me defend Chinese Smash with this base is, you see this Inferno Island with all these storages around it? I actually got this comp from Andrew. He's a really great builder and a friend of mine. And I saw it in one of his bases a while back, and I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. But I figured it would stall up P.E.K.K.A.s and Super Wizards, and that's exactly what it did. Because if they get in this comp, they're just stalled up by all these storages for a while this Inferno beats on them, and there's small bombs and a giant bomb to pick off the Super Wizards. And then there's also this Expo that beats on them as well. And then an Archer Tower too. And also this Expo if they were entering at the Town Hall. So now let's watch the replay and see what they did, and you'll see how this Tesla made them think there's a whole Tesla farm there, so it's not safe to put the ward in there. This is why I use surgical Teslas, because, you know, you can bait someone into thinking there's a Tesla farm when there's not. Alright, let's watch the replay. Okay. Alright, so see, he puts 2 barbs down here, which trigger this Tesla, and then he thinks there's a Tesla farm, so then he puts the warden over here, because he doesn't want the warden to be forced, like the ability to be forced with a rage. So this whole warden walk is already taking almost 30 seconds. And then he sends a blimp in for the eagle. I could have baited that, but I didn't really think it was too necessary. The barbs ended up getting sprung, which was unfortunate, but it still did its job, hypothetically. And he also had to force a rage, too. I don't know if that rage would have been needed, but I think it was for time purposes. So if you notice, this warden walk has almost lasted 1 minute, and he hasn't even gotten key defense yet. That was because he had to clear all this trash before he actually could get his warden where he wanted the warden to be. And then he has to waste a jump to get access to the core. I'm also running a hound because this verses well against Smash. And then the king drew his troops back into here while a couple super wizards went ahead and focused onto the hound, so they ended up dying. And then all these core Sams, you'll notice his healers start dying slowly. He's already down to 2 healers. Oh no, 3, sorry. 3 healers. And then this air defense also takes him down, because these witches get fried. So it takes another one down before that, before they go out of range. And then he has to freeze the town hall for the P.E.K.K.A.s, so they managed to get it. Meanwhile, this Inferno is just still up because nothing's pathing to it, because these elixir storages have a 1 tile gap between the wall and the building. That's because it makes it unwalkable, but it also deters pathing away from it. And then the P.E.K.K.A.s spinning around the NATO. His heroes ended up out here somehow. I think they took the jump because they got distracted by the Hound. If I'm remembering, this time fails. But it was an attack I did not expect, which is why it time failed. They did a lot of interesting attacks, so congrats to them, because we kind of did more basic attacks. Except for one of our guys, Simple. He did a really, really creative attack with Skelly spells. Maybe I'll do a recap of this war. And then they had to freeze that, so then his troops could try and live a little bit longer and get some more percent. But I mean, at this point, he already ran out of time, and he kind of knew that, because he was forced to place his warden over here, which is why it ended up to be a time fail. Alright, so the next base we have is this one. Before I talk about the base, I want to say congratulations to Tom, because he was the MVP of this war and tripled 2 hours into the war at like 2 a.m. Because he couldn't hit any other time, but he tripled, so that was really sweet, and that won us the war right there. So thank you, Tom. Please keep up the good work. Okay, so now this base uses similar tactics, although one thing you might notice is a channel base. Now, the reason why it's a channel base is because channel bases work really well against Smash, because it's almost similar to the dead core, is because you have to waste a jump just to get into the channel, and then your troops also just split. They'll split around. And then, so you gain access to the channel, but then it's super unpredictable pathing. And even if your troops do go into the other side of the channel, it's still not guaranteed pathing that all of them are going to go. And it's just really hard to predict where they're going to go and plan for that. So first of all, channels are good against Smash. Second of all, this NATO, you might notice, was to spin Yetis around, because there was a lot of Yeti blimping this war for the town hall, because it was just kind of like the safest bet to do that. And so that was to spin the Yetis around the town hall, so make them either force a rage or force a couple freezes out of them. And then the second tactic is these witch bombs. Because you only used witches for the flanks and not for the actual core push, I wasn't too worried about killing the witches off the flanks, because they weren't that important, as I had a bomb tower, double cannon, mortars, things like that on the outside edges of the base to kill the witch flanks off. And then more core Sams to pluck off the healers, all ground bows. I have this super Inferno, that's what I like to call it, I don't know what the real term is, but basically it's an Inferno with a Tesla farm around it, surrounded by some Skelly spells and maybe like a Warden and a King or something, or like a Queen. And basically what that does is it's like a super powerful DPS trap that can kill off a couple P.E.K.K.A.s, or can just end the whole raid really early. When we were watching this hit live, we thought it was either going to be a 1-star or a really low 2-star, but Dennis managed to clutch it up and get an 86%, which was actually pretty surprising because it didn't look like that promising. But I believe his queen walked over here to get the town hall, and then she was kind of walking for a while, which kind of saved it. But the plan I was expecting was most likely a Yeti bomb for this Inferno, which is why the two Sams are here and the two Springs. And then either Warden Walk this Inferno or zap it out, and then send the Smash through the Town Hall up through here, which is why I have all this back end area. All this back end DPS is just super aids to deal with. And yeah, there's not too much else to talk about this base. I mean, it's a pretty good base. I wouldn't recommend running it against anything but like Smash or something. And yeah, let's look at the replay now though. So I believe he decided to zap this Inferno out here, which is what I was kind of expecting, but these guys did a lot of Queen Walks, which was interesting. Okay, so he blimped the Town Hall after this start, or like on the start, and he blimped to decide that the Tornado was not on, which is fine. Getting the safe 1-star is always good. And then, okay, so he did a Queen Walk and a Warden Walk at the same time. So basically just a Queen Walk with the Warden as a help. He delayed his healers a little bit. I don't know that I would have done that, because he almost risked, like if there was Teslas there, he would have risked the Queen ability. I think it was a little bit safer just to put the healers down right away, like as soon as the Queen got targeted by the cannon. Okay, so then he throws the King and a P.E.K.K.A down here. And then he witches down on the flank, and then he starts all of his smash going in. I think he wanted the King and the P.E.K.K.A to walk, but they actually went inside the base, which wasn't too bad for him. I think that kind of saved it a little bit. So that one Sam plucked off the loon. And if you notice, all of the P.E.K.K.As and Super Wizards, he didn't have any jumps because he didn't have space. So they didn't beat through a wall, they just walked around here and made a really unpredictable pathing. So right here, we thought it was either going to be a 1-star rage quit or a really low 2-star, because if you look at the troops, they're all down in this like 5:30 area, maybe 5 o'clock area. And there's this Super Inferno right here. And then he's got his Queen, which we actually did not notice, up here beating on a wall, which is going to get him a lot of percent. So he pops his Warden ability. At this point, he kind of knows, like, okay, I don't think this can triple. So he kind of just goes for percent. And yeah, let's just watch the raid out. His witches do actually end up going back inside the base, which is kind of huge, but the Queen ends up taking him out. And he just got some P.E.K.K.As and then the Queen, which is carrying the raid through. If his stuff didn't walk and say he had a jump, he might have been able to clutch this up. Or maybe if he would have planned to start his smash through the Town Hall. But as I said before, it was trapped, so I don't think that would have worked either. And then he's just got a ton of DPS beating on his Queen, who's got a sweeper pushing the healers away. And I'm not sure exactly. Oh, the skeleton spells. Yeah, or the skeletons from the witches. That was the clutch that got him the extra couple percent. And then this archer over here got the lab down. So yeah, but that's how you defend Chinese Smash. The same tactics work for Super Witches, except for the giant bombs, as they are not really needed, because Super Witches just have so much health and you're not bringing Super Wizards with them. So I would just suggest doing like Witch Bombs or something if you're building for multiple hit wars, and then maybe like a Grand Warden Walk bait. Yeah. But I'm gonna come out with a live build. Probably I'm gonna build it tonight. I believe it's the 12th today, So it'll be built tonight. I'm going to post this YouTube video tonight, and then probably the live build tomorrow. So it'll kind of make up for the 2 months that I was gone. Sure, I didn't post that frequently before, but I really had the itch to come back to Clash, and I'm glad I have, because I have some really great friends on here that like help me out, and just really great to be around. But again, good war against actually weak. Hope to see you in playoffs if there is one, because obviously Troll Tesla on top. If you agree with that, you should put Troll Tesla on top in the hash or in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the live build. By the way, the live build will be a bit more advanced. Before I was doing a lot of basic ones that were just kind of teaching you the basics of Town Hall 12, but now I want to get it a bit more advanced and like more, like a little bit harder to, like a harder base to do, but it's going to be a lot more fun to build. So yeah, peace.